My dear child, this message continues the unfolding that has already started in your life. What began before has not paused. It is moving forward and now revealing another layer of what has been prepared for you. There were moments when everything felt uncertain and progress seemed out of reach, yet even then alignment was taking place. What appeared still was being positioned, and what felt delayed was being carefully timed. These words build upon everything that has already been spoken over you. They bring deeper clarity and strengthen the path that is gradually opening ahead. Stay present and receive what comes next with trust. This is not a new beginning. It is the continuation of the breakthrough that has already begun to take shape in your life. Untangle with what seemed to you like a fairly obvious observation was changed by that observation in ways that rippled outward. The soul you showed up for in a difficult moment carries the fact of your showing up as evidence of something they needed to know, which is that they are not alone. You did not make a speech. You did not stand on a platform. You just showed up as the individual you are with the gifts I placed in you, and something real was built. That is what the blueprint is for. It is not about the grand gesture, but rather the accumulated weight of 1,000 ordinary moments in which a unique individual with particular gifts shows up in a distinct life and offers what they carry stone by stone, one encounter at a time. That is how buildings are built. That is how the structure I am assembling through you comes together, not in a single dramatic moment, but in the faithful accumulation of what you bring to the particular spaces of your particular life. There may be a season you are sitting with right now, or a season behind you that you have not fully made peace with. A period when none of this felt true, when the purpose felt entirely inaccessible. When the gifts had gone so quiet that you began to wonder whether they had ever really been there, or whether you had been deceiving yourself this whole time. A stretch of time when you were not contributing anything you could identify. When the sense of purpose was absent, when the flat gray texture of just getting through the days was all that was available. Those seasons are real. I do not want to speak about them only in retrospect, only as things that in hindsight were producing something, as though the difficulty of them was negated by their eventual purpose. They were hard. The silence was real. The absence of any felt sense of direction or contribution or meaning was real. The experience of moving through days that did not seem to add up to anything, that produced no evident fruit and offered no confirmation that any of it was worthwhile. That experience is one of the most difficult a human being can have. It does not feel like preparation. It feels like loss. I want to speak to that. My aim is not to explain it away, and it is not to convert your memory of the difficult season into something you feel you should have been grateful for. My aim is to tell you that I was there in it. I was not watching you struggle from a position of comfortable distance, pleased with how the process was developing, embedded in it with you, feeling the particular quality of the silence from the inside of it, knowing what it cost you present. There are times when the one who was made with intention finds themselves unable to access any sense of that intention. When the blueprint feels like something that belongs to someone else, something glimpsed in a brighter season that now seems impossibly remote. When the gifts that were supposed to be there have gone so quiet that the silence begins to feel definitive. When you start to construct an alternative narrative about yourself. One in which the whole thing about calling and purpose was a story you needed to believe. When the present was too difficult to bear without it. And now the story is wearing thin, and what remains is just the ordinary, unluminous texture of a life that does not appear to add up to anything significant. That narrative is not the true one, but I know it is available to you in those seasons, and I know it is very easy to reach for, and I am not going to tell you that you should have been stronger then to reach for it, or that a child of mine with real faith would not have found themselves in that story. I am going to tell you that the story is wrong. I say this not because I am correcting you from a distance, but because I know the actual plan, and the plan did not stop being operative because you could not feel it. The blueprint does not expire when the builder loses the sense of the building. It waits. It is held in the hands of the architect, and the architect's hands do not shake. Something else I want to address, because I know how this experience goes in the quiet seasons. The temptation is to try to manufacture the feeling of purpose by forcing activity, by filling the calendar with more things, committing to more responsibilities, occupying more spaces, producing more visible evidence that you are useful. As though if you can just generate enough output, the sense of meaning will follow from the volume of effort. As though purpose is something that can be earned by being busy enough. But that is not how it works. Manufactured busyness in a season of genuine quiet tends to produce exhaustion without satisfaction. It fills the silence with noise without addressing what the silence was actually about. And it often creates more distance from the actual calling rather than less, because it substitutes the performance of purposeful activity for the actual inhabiting of who you are. What I am inviting you to in the quiet seasons is not more noise. It is a different quality of attention, slowing down enough to listen for what is actually present even when it is not loud, trusting that something real is happening even when you cannot verify it by visible output, remaining oriented toward the intention even when you cannot feel the direction. That kind of attentive waiting is not passive. It is one of the harder forms of faithfulness because it does not produce the immediate sense of forward movement that activity produces, but it is the kind of waiting that produces depth, the kind that allows the roots to go further down before the growth goes further up, the kind that builds a quality of settledness in a person that is not otherwise available. And when the quiet season ends, as it will, as it always does, what emerges is a soul who is more grounded, more genuinely themselves, more ready for what the next season holds than they were when the quiet began. Think about what happens to a seed in winter. The earth above it is cold and hard. From any external perspective, nothing is happening. The ground gives no indication that there is life beneath it. If you did not know that seed had been planted, you would look at that ground and see nothing but dormant, undifferentiated earth. But underground in the dark, in conditions that do not feel hospitable to anything living, the seed is doing the most critical work of its existence. The shell is beginning to break open, not from damage, but from the irresistible internal pressure of what is alive inside it. The first tentative structures that will eventually become roots are pushing outward through the broken shell. The capacity to reach toward light is developing in conditions of complete darkness. The seed does not know it is growing. It is simply responding from deep inside itself to what it was made to respond to. Your seasons of silence may have been that underground work, the breaking open of something that was not going to grow without being broken first. The development of root systems that will eventually support what is growing above ground, but that have to be established in hiddenness before the growth above ground can be sustained. What felt too you like nothing happening was, from the perspective of the blueprint, often the most important part of the process, because roots determine whether what eventually emerges has the capacity to last through the seasons that come after it. Shallow growth is spectacular for a time, and then vulnerable. Deep growth is less immediate and more durable. The underground seasons produce depth. I want to gently address something you may have told yourself during the quiet seasons. The idea that if the gifts were real, they would be consistently accessible to you. That real purpose makes itself known without long interruptions, without extended seasons of fog and flatness and apparent dormancy. That if you were really who I made you to be, you would always be able to feel it. That the feeling would be a reliable compass. That its absence signals something wrong with the design or with the person or both. That is not how it works. The most reliable structures are not the ones that have never been tested by stillness. They are the ones that were tested by stillness and came through it intact, having discovered in the process which elements of the architecture are actually foundational. The seasons when you could not feel the purpose were not seasons when the purpose was absent. They were seasons when you were being invited to hold on to what you knew rather than what you felt. And trust that holds on when the feeling has left is a different quality of trust than trust that depends on the feeling to maintain itself. It is the kind that does not require constant confirmation to remain operative. It is the kind built for the long haul and the faithfulness that continues to function in the absence of felt purpose. The willingness to keep showing up in the spaces of your life and offering what you have even when what you have feels insufficient, even when you cannot feel the design or sense the direction. That faithfulness is itself a form of the pattern operating. The calling does not only operate when you feel inspired, it also operates through the daily faithfulness of someone who has stopped requiring confirmation before they keep going. There is something profound built in the seasons when someone continues to give what they have without receiving reassurance that it matters. What is built in those seasons is the kind of character that I can build more through than through the character that only functions when conditions are ideal. Hold on to this particularly in the seasons when it is hardest to hold on to anything. The plan I placed in you before you were born is not contingent on your ability to feel it today. What I built into the architecture of who you are does not require your awareness of it to remain structurally sound. The building does not stop being a building because the occupant cannot currently feel the walls. You are held by something more stable than your current feelings about yourself. You are held by what I know about you. And what I know is that you were made for something specific. That something is still unfolding in ways you do not always have visibility into. That the underground work is real and it is producing roots. And that what emerges on the other side of the difficult seasons will be more grounded, more genuinely you, more ready for what it is going to be asked to carry than anything the easier seasons could have produced on their own. Now, I want to draw close and speak to the part of you that has been listening to all of this and receiving it for others. The part that has been nodding along and thinking of people you know who need to hear exactly this, which is generous of you, genuinely generous. But I notice you have been doing something with these words that you often do with things that feel too good to fully claim for yourself. You have been directing them slightly away from the center of who you are, passing them along to others in your mind before you have fully received them yourself. What I have been saying is for you precisely. I want to speak directly to the part of you that still sometimes suspects it is more ordinary than crafted, more flawed than formed, more damaged than built. The part that hears words about intention and calling and purpose and finds them beautiful in the abstract and slightly unreal in the concrete. The part that would hear these exact words offered to someone you love and feel moved by them and would feel the truth of them for that individual, but struggles to occupy the same truth for itself, because there is something that keeps redirecting your own story into a more modest register. I want you to stop doing that with what I am saying right now. This is not because modesty is a problem, but because this particular form of modesty is actually a refusal to receive what is genuinely being offered. And what is being offered here is not flattery. It is not encouragement crafted to prop up someone whose actual making is deficient. It is a clear and honest account of what I built and what it is for, and what it is capable of doing in the particular life that surrounds it. What I am releasing over you in this moment is an overflow. I do not mean in the sense of something rushing in from outside and overwhelming the existing structure. In the sense of what becomes possible when a structure is finally being used for what it was built for. When the alignment between the intention and the function is restored. When the edited, reduced, carefully managed version of who you are gives way to the actual version. When you stop holding yourself back from full occupancy of the person I made and move into it completely, There is fruitfulness on the other side of that occupancy that you have not yet tasted. I do not mean fruitfulness in the sense of external recognition or achievement that can be pointed to and quantified. Fruitfulness in the sense of the deep satisfaction of doing the exact thing you were made to do in the precise way you were made to do it in the particular places where your life already intersects with the lives of others. The sense of rightness that comes when someone is operating in genuine alignment with their calling. It does not feel like performance, it feels like home. You will find as you step into the fullness of the design that the exact capacities I placed in you meet the exact needs of the people around you, with a precision that will sometimes stop you, because you will be in the right place at the right moment, with exactly the right thing for exactly that individual in exactly that situation. And it will be so precisely fitted that you will feel the fit of it rather than a coincidence. It will feel like an intention revealed. The one who needs to be heard in the particular way you hear people will appear in your day. The problem that requires the distinct angle your mind takes will present itself. The situation that calls for the particular quality of care you carry will arise, and you will be positioned for it, and you will need it, and something will be built in that exchange that could not have been built by any other combination of soul and moment. That is what I have been preparing you for. It is not a stage you might eventually reach. It is moments, precise, unrepeatable moments in the particular life that is already yours. Moments that do not require you to be different than you are. That require precisely and only who you are. One moment at a time, one faithful showing up at a time, one stone placed in the structure at a time. And what you give in those moments does not end when the moment ends. What passes through you toward another person keeps moving. The quality of attention you give someone in a conversation creates conditions in which they can hear themselves clearly. And hearing themselves clearly may change a direction they were about to go. And the change direction affects the life of someone connected to them, and on in ways you will never be able to trace, because the ripple moves beyond your sight. You are not intended to be the end point of what I give through you. You are meant to be a point of transmission, a vessel through whom things move. And what moves through you? When you are fully occupying, the pattern does not stay local. It spreads. It will not make the news, but it will change actual lives in actual places. Receive this. Receive the fullness of what I am pouring out over you in this season. It is not something earned by virtue of your performance. And it is not something contingent on whether you have finally sorted out all the things in you that still need sorting. As what it is, a gift particular to you, prepared before you were born, already attached to your name, already fitted to the shape of your life. Receive it with the same openness with which you would receive it on behalf of someone you love. Because the one I made when I made you is someone who deserves to be received with that kind of openness. That child of mine is worth that kind of welcome, and that child is you. Something I want you to notice about receiving this fully. When you receive it, really receive it and not just pass it along to others in your mind. Something becomes available to the people around you that was not available before. The individual who knows they are crafted, and that the making is good does not interact with others from a position of scarcity, does not give from depletion, does not need constant reassurance from the people around them to maintain the sense that they are worth something. The soul who has genuinely received their purpose from the hands of the one who made them with that kind of settled confidence that comes from being known and claimed, is freer to give generously without keeping score, without the anxiety of whether they are giving enough or giving too much or giving the wrong things. Receiving what I am giving you is not only for you. It changes the quality of what you are able to give. It changes the kind of presence you are able to be. It makes you more available, more genuinely free, more able to occupy the calling without the constant noise of self-doubt in the background. That is why I am pressing you to receive this not as a luxury, as a prerequisite for the giving I am asking you to do. There's a word I want to leave with you. I say this not to bring things to a tidy conclusion, because the work we have been describing does not reach a tidy conclusion in this season of life. It is ongoing work. It is the work of a whole life accumulated in small increments built one moment at a time over years and decades. There is no arrival point in this age after which the building is complete and the work is done. There is only the continuing choice to keep showing up as who you are in the spaces where your life is already being lived with the gifts you already carry. What sustains that kind of ongoing faithfulness is not a feeling. Feelings shift. They are affected by sleep and weather and the quality of the day and the behavior of the people around you and 100 other variables that have nothing to do with the underlying reality of who you are and what you carry. What sustains the faithful showing up is a settled knowledge, a fact that you know independent of what you feel about it on any given day. And the fact is this: you were designed not as a general category of human being, but as a distinct individual with a particular blueprint and a unique contribution that belongs to the exact life you are living. That fact does not change based on how you feel about it. It simply is. There will be seasons in the days ahead when the purpose feels accessible, and you can feel the rightness of what you are doing and everything aligns in a way that confirms the direction. Enjoy those seasons. They are not the only valid seasons, but they are genuinely good ones. Let yourself be nourished by them without attaching your identity to the fact of their presence, because they will shift as all seasons shift. And when they do, the settled knowledge has to be able to hold you without the feeling as its foundation. And there will be seasons when the knowledge is all you have. Type Amen if you believe in God.